Okay, we're going to try this. Stop doom scrolling. You're literally standing in the middle of a cosmic great reset. Today's solar eclipse is hitting at the same time, February 17th, as the 2026 fire horse rides in like a match to gasoline. So if life feels like it is, God, falling apart, it's actually just shedding. We're leaving the snake, shedding the weight, right? We're shedding the old skin so that we can run, right? It's time to take off. We got some movement happening. So it's not today, literally today. And it's my dad's birthday, actually, which is really interesting. Oh, Dad, I hope you this energy is intense, man. Maybe you should stay in bed today. So it isn't just that a shadow is passing over the sun, it is a total frequency shift. We're standing at the intersection, literally, of the powerful solar eclipse and the energy of the year of the fire horse. So if you're feeling a restless urge, I know I am, to burn down the old, and I think that's what we're seeing, right? And sprint toward the new, this is why. It's exciting. It really, really is exciting. So let's talk about the solar eclipse. If you see me looking down, it's because I put some notes because my brain talking about two different things, and I want to make sure I have what I wanted to say so that I could share this with you today. Okay, so the solar eclipse energy. So the solar eclipse is like a great reset, right? Eclipses, and I never used to pay attention to this, but now that I'm getting more into astrology, I am paying much more attention to this kind of stuff. So it's like a fast track destiny that closed doors that no longer serve us, sometimes abruptly, right? Think of eclipses as things that are no longer working will eclipse out of your life, okay? That could be relationships, that could be friendships, that could be work situations, it could be health situations, it could be anything. I mean, we're looking at it's in Aquarius, and Aquarius is about the, collective. So we're going to be seeing this eclipse playing out in much more global ways. And of course, it's going to hit all of us individually, depending on our own personal birth charts. So you really can look at what your own birth chart is. And if you want to do that, there's a lot of free ways of finding your birth chart online. You just need to know your rising. You need to know the time of your birth for your rising sign or your ascendant, right? But the time you were born, where you were born, and obviously the day you were born will show you where certain things are in your chart, and that can really, really help you. So a solar eclipse is literally the moon, our emotions, and our subconscious is stepped in front of our sun, which is our ego, our external identity, and it's time to stop performing and start being, right? What does that mean, right? And unlike a full moon, a solar eclipse happens during a new moon. So it is about new moons a lot are about setting intentions, okay? But you don't necessarily need to see where the path is going to lead, but kind of have an idea of what you want to bring in this new year, right? So it being an Aquarius, it's a big catalyst for innovative beginnings, quantum leaps in consciousness, and major destined life shifts regarding community, technology, and personal freedom. So it's super exciting. So what I've heard from other astrologists is that we can be feeling the eclipse energy 6 months prior to the eclipse and then even 6 months after. And when I was doing a little research, I was also saw that it says it signifies an 18-month cycle of revolutionizing social structures and individual authenticity, which is, if we're looking at what's happening in the world, we are seeing social structures, right? Social, that's very much corporations, governments is very Capricornian energy, and we've left Capricorn and now we're in Aquarius energy, which is more innovation and thinking about the people, right? The community, the people, not about corporations. So it's interesting watching a lot of these old social structures that we have been counting on forever falling apart, crumbling. That is what is going to be happening. And we may see major players be eclipsed out. And what that looks like, it doesn't mean that they're going to die. Maybe they will, or you'll see them fall, or you'll see them being eclipsed out of this collective that we have. So it's going to be interesting to watch. So the eclipse pushes us forward, futuristic thinking, right? It's unconventional ideas. It's acting as a cleansing of the old rigid energies that are no longer working for us. It's about community. It's about leadership. It's a reckoning, right? It's a reckoning of how we organize. It's fostering a shift toward the collective, Aquarius, for the greater goals, okay, rather than individual power. Now, isn't that interesting what we're seeing happening about how, and it's all in the astrology, and that's why, I mean, I have just a taste of the astrology bug, and I've already learned so much. So when I've had this big show going on. I'm getting off topic. That's why I haven't been posting as much. Where I live, we have a gallery doing a big art show. So I haven't been posting as much, but as soon as that comes down, I am going to be taking some delving in and taking some astrology courses because it's really interesting. So as a new moon eclipse, it marks a 6-month or even up to an 18-month period of significant personal shifts, often breaking through old insecurities, which is kind of cool. And this period is ideal for embracing authenticity, upgrading social circles, and embracing radical, unconventional ideas that align with a new and collective future. And what you're going to see is all of the stars in our eyes around the movie stars, performers, billionaires, politicians, whatever is going to start going away, right? We're not interested in that anymore. As a collective, you're going to see people are going to become more interested in authentic community relationships that benefit the global community around them, right? It starts in your own home. It starts in your own community, right? Our stars are no longer in our eyes anymore, right? We're not like, oh, look at this person. Oh, like the following. You're going to see a lot of shifting toward more authenticity between relationships, between people, right? That you actually know and support. And I can see that already happening. I mean, it's always kind of been like that in the artist community, but I can see it even happening more as I've been connecting, especially this last month, with a lot of artists, what's happening, and what these artists are doing. And artists, they're always on the forefront, right? They're always seeing, I don't think artists realize how intuitive they are, and it comes out in the work. So they're always seeing what's happening before maybe a lot of the rest of us catch up, and it shows up in the artwork. So pay attention to some of the artwork that you're seeing being created, right? It's really, really interesting. Okay, so now let's talk about the symbolism of the fire horse. So it is a 60-year cycle, right? I looked that up, did not know that. 60-year cycle. The fire horse is one of the most charismatic signs in the Chinese zodiac, and it only appears every 60 years, which is really interesting. So the energy is, I mean, if you've already felt it, like here we are, we're in the middle of February, it's almost over. How fast has this year felt like it's already gone, right? Like it was just Thanksgiving. It was just Halloween, and then it was Thanksgiving and Christmas, and here we are already almost at the end of February, getting ready to go into spring. So it's crazy. So it's about speed, it's about independence, and it's about raw power, right? It's powerful. The snake was about shedding the old, but this is about taking off and power. So the horse doesn't think about a horse. Horses don't like to be reined in, right? If you've ever watched any videos of horses being free and galloping the way that they like to without a human, on top of them or reining them in, you can feel the joy that the horse feels by the fact that they have autonomy over their own bodies as a horse and doing what horses like to do, which is be with their other horses and galloping. I've seen them galloping through the water, galloping through the prairies or wherever they like to be. It's a beautiful thing to watch because that is what is beautiful about horse energy, right? So now we're going to add in the element of fire. And fire is transformation, right? Think of anything that when a fire comes through anything, it transforms it. It transforms the landscape. A lot of things come from the ashes of the fire. That's the mystical about the phoenix. The phoenix rises from the ashes of the fire and it is transformed. So it's about transformation through fire and heat. And it's going to be a massive year of social shifts, big creative. We're going to see a lot of creative things birthing from this. And it's kind of got a go big or go home kind of energy behind it. And that is going to show up in the news. It's going to show up in social circles, in social media. It's going to show up in your life. It's going to show up in relationships. It's going to show up in business. It's going to be like that kind of energy, which is cool. So when I was thinking about how do the two connect, because they really happen on the same day, February 17th, 2026, which is wild to me, right? Think of it as the eclipse is the spark, right? It's the spark. It's the ignition. And the fire horse is the gale force wind. And it is a year of rapid movement. If you have been procrastinating in your own life, the universe is about to push you out of your nest. It's time to make some moves, right? And it's about authenticity, interestingly enough, over safety. And you're seeing that show up on the global platform, right? You're seeing, I'm going to do a whole video about these kids who are protesting, but you're seeing this where people are out protesting, not thinking of their own safety. We know what's happening in the world, right? We can see it. So we know that anytime these people are out there protesting, they're putting their own personal safety at risk. But it is about being authentic. What's hidden can no longer stand. It must come out. It is coming out. So both of these energies demand us to stop playing small. The fire horse doesn't care about politeness, right? It cares about truth of the spirit. And it is a burn off. The eclipse is going to burn off all the dead wood in our lives, bad habits, toxic ties, right? Toxic relationships, so that we get lighter and we can run when the horse energy fully takes over. And that is where we are going. So here are some things that we can do, right? The do's. Lean into the heat. This is going to be interesting for me because I have over years become adverse to heat, right? Thank God for estrogen patches is all I have to say to cool me down. Okay, so things to do. Move your body. Horse energy is physical. If you feel anxious or electric, your nervous energy, I have been feeling this energy for a while. My nervous system has been on overload from the eclipse. Do what you like to do to move your body. Dance, run. I like to row. I have a row machine. I really get into it, and it like uses almost every muscle in my body. I like to do that. Box, dancing is great. Now's a great time to dance. Put on music. If you're cleaning your house, by the way, today, and I'll get to that, don't clean today. I read this somewhere, something about feng shui and the fire horse energy. I don't know how rooted in truth it is, but I've seen it. I've heard it. Somebody told me that. I've read it. So I am not cleaning. Don't wash your hair today. I'll get into that in a second. Okay. But what you need to do is you need to move the energy. And my hair needs to be washed, but I'll have to wait till tomorrow. Because what if we don't, it builds up and it turns into stress, and we stress ourselves out. So we don't want to do that. So you got to you got to do these things to like move your body. It could be anything, walking, brisk walking, just like we need movement, right? It's doom scrolling is not going to be working in this year. That is not a thing. This is about connecting, movement, and taking big visions and moving them forward. So the fire horse rewards bravery, which I thought was really interesting. So don't write down, and it's interesting because I just did the 13 wishes before the end of the year, not knowing this, but don't write down safe goals, right? Write down the ones that scare you for yourself, right? Just write those down. What is it that you've always wanted to do that maybe scares you a little bit? Try doing that. It's time to practice radical honesty. Fire burns away facades. It burns away, fake relationships, fake connections. Like I said, like following people who, we had stars in our eyes about, who aren't authentic. We're not interested in them anymore. We're leaving that. That is leaving, right? It's a time to have these conversations, if they're with ourselves, right, about who we want moving with us coming forward. It's time maybe to cut some relationships that have been holding you back, right? And you want to focus on your vision. You want to use the darkness of the eclipse to visualize your finish line. Where do you want to be when the horse year ends? Okay? Where do you want to be? And the things that maybe you shouldn't do. Don't make impulsive decisions. When the fire horse gallop in the eclipse, there could be a little bit of chaos. The urges come up. Like you might want to just quit your job. You might want to send an angry message to somebody who pissed you off. Just don't do that right now. Like wait a few days, 3 days, 5 days, a week. Kind of give yourself that time to kind of feel that energy before you make those big decisions, right? Okay. You can't force an outcome because eclipses are fated, and we're going to see how that plays out globally. If something leaves your life today, a friend, a project, an opportunity, let it go. The fire horse needs to be light to run fast, so you don't want to drag dead weight. And this energy is not going to be just for today. We're going to be feeling this energy for a little while. And avoid any low vibing conflicts, right? Because when you have the fire and the horse, you can get rageful very easily. So avoid any kind of arguments, internet arguments especially. It's a waste of your precious fuel, okay? So those are things that you don't want to do right now, right? Like take a breath, move your body, right? Imagine your visions, but like don't engage where you shouldn't be engaging right now. It's just going to drain you. So here's a cool ritual you can do, right? The ash and bloom release. So what you need, and I mean ash, think fire, ash, right? You get a piece of paper, a pen, and a fire safe bowl. You write down the one fear. This is about releasing the fear or a habit that is acting as a tether to you or is reining you in, right? I remember when I gave up smoking, part of the reason that I gave it up wasn't because I was having any health issues. I had the health issues after I quit, was because I didn't want to be tethered to it anymore. That was a big reason that I let it go. So whatever it is that is tethering you, is reining you back, you want to do a write it down. And it could be a fear. Could be a fear. So when you're burning the paper, as it turns to ash, say, I release the weight of whatever that is to find my speed. I release the weight of whatever to find my speed. And today is a great day to do it because today is the most powerful energy, as we're having the fire horse energy and the solar eclipse. We want to eclipse this out of our life, this fear, this habit, that we want it gone. It's a great time to do this, right? And you can for the next 24 hours, right, once the eclipse is going on, place a glass of water in the sunlight for 30 minutes, and you're going to drink that water to internalize this new sun energy. It's a way of signaling to your body that you're ready for the second half of this fire horse energy. So after you write it out and you burn it, how you release the ashes, it doesn't matter. You can bury them. You can flush them down the toilet. You could throw them in the garbage. Okay. But don't even stress about how to get rid of the ashes. Right. Okay. Another good thing to do is a meditation. You sit in, if you can, silence for 5 minutes, or go on a imagination journey. See the wild horse running through an open field. I did a meditation this morning and I saw the fire horse come through, and I saw and felt the energy of the fire horse this morning when I was in my meditation, and it came to my spot, and I felt the energy of it, and it was really, really powerful. I felt a connection to the energy of this. So however you want to do it, right? You can see yourself as the horse. Where are you running? Where are you going? What does the wind feel like? It aligns your subconscious with the year's dominant archetype, because that's the archetype we're going through. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about before was, now I saw this, I've heard this, I've seen this, haven't verified it, I don't know. I'm wearing red today, just kind of the spark, that passion energy, but the fire energy is very intense. Red is an intense color. You may need to wear cool blues to cool you down as you go through the rest of the year. But from what I had read, this is what I read, according to tradition, we should not sweep, clean, or take out the trash on the first day of the Lunar New Year, which is the fire horse year, February 17, 2026. It is believed that cleaning or removing trash on this day will sweep away or throw out the incoming luck and prosperity for the new year. Okay, so I am not going to do that. And I also read that you shouldn't wash your hair, right? Don't wash your hair. So even though my hair needs desperately to be washed today, that will be done tomorrow. All right. So I hope this was helpful. I really, really liked looking into the symbolism of the fire horse energy falling on the day of the eclipse and my dad's birthday, who I have to call as soon as I get off this video and say happy birthday. It's just very powerful. So hold on to your hat. It's going to be a wild ride. Stay grounded, stay centered, and really move your body. That's going to help you a lot. Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye.